Welcome to Soul Expressions, the podcast for your soul. With me, I'm whoever you want me to be. I'm just a soul here, enjoying my journey. But as you can see, it's been a minute since I last posted on my podcast, and there's a reason because I've been on a healing journey for the past a little over a year, and that journey has taken me to really step into who I am and who I'm becoming. So I had to take some time away to really dive into who I am and what I am. And on that journey, a lot has changed, a lot has happened, a lot of sacrifices have been made, and a lot of things in my life has changed. And that's kind of the reason why it's been so long, because I was doing my healing. I was healing my inner child, learning who I am as a being more than just a physical being. I want to learn more about my spiritual side. And so I had to take time to myself to dig into that. But I'm back and I'll be posting more videos and more content on this podcast, interviewing people and just coming on talking about random things that's on my mind. But I really want to just come back and talk about my healing journey, which I've been on like I say, over a year now at this point. And as far as I can confirm, I'm essentially healed. I've healed myself from past traumas, future traumas, present traumas. Anything that has to do with me healing, I've done that. And with me doing that, it took a lot, and I had to take a lot of time off because it's you do a lot of self-reflecting, and you have to go within yourself to truly figure out who you are and what you are. Because again, like I said previously, we've been told who we are by society, by our parents, and by everything else that's been around us without actually knowing who we truly are and what we're truly capable of. And I wanted to look into as much as I could to learn about myself as possible, because there's so many things that I didn't know that I now do know and understand, and that I'm just here to help guide those who are looking to understand themselves a bit more as well. With that being said, I'll talk a little bit about my journey. The one thing you have to understand about when you go on a journey like this is that you'll make a lot of sacrifices to who you used to be, because that person that you once were, you won't be that person once you start on a journey like this. And this journey isn't for everyone, because a lot of times this journey, for me, I had no plans on taking this path in my life. And events happened that put me in this situation. And as soon as it happened, I knew that there was a bigger purpose behind this. And I dove into it immediately. And like I said, you have to sacrifice a lot of who you used to be to become who you want to be, become the best version of yourself. You have to essentially kill off the old version of you to become a new version. And for a lot of people, that's a very difficult task. Have you even thought about killing off the old version of yourself to step into something new, something different? Especially if you're tired of what you've been existing in all these years, you have to understand that you are the creator of your reality. Everything that's in your reality now, the hurt, the pain, the good, the bad, everything is a result of your actions and what you've done and what you sacrificed and weren't willing to sacrifice. And on the subject of sacrificing, like I said, I've sacrificed my entire being to become this version of myself. Like if you remember from previous videos, from my first videos that I done, which was only like two or three, I was essentially I was growing my hair out from a bald headed state, because that was part of my evolution, because I understand the importance of the hair that we have and how it helps connect us to our outside world more than what we know. And I'm not going to get into any of that, because that's something for a later date or something for you to look up on your own, because I don't really do shit like that. I'm just here to give you some knowledge that I personally have used to help me get where I'm going. Let me adjust this camera some. So, with that being said, let's talk about some of the things I had to sacrifice. I sacrificed all entertainment, all everything I was interested in as far as entertainment, sports, video games, TV, movies. I sacrificed a lot of that. Now, in the beginning, I sacrificed it all. I stopped watching everything, but now I've gone back to watching movies, because I understand that movies and TV shows as well have a lot of knowledge that may be missed. But once you start living through your third eye, you see the world totally different. And that's also a part of healing, because you're going to start to experience a part of yourself that you didn't know, because you've had so many distractions in your life that your mind doesn't have time to focus on you. You're distracted by TV, you're distracted by social media, you're distracted by life, you're distracted by work, kids, endless shit that can distract you from yourself. And so that's what I wanted to do, was clear out all of that distraction to help me gain a sense of who I was. I even went as far as to uh, I sacrificed the foods I ate, because I stopped eating a lot of processed foods. I stopped eating gluten altogether. Well, I ain't gonna lie, on occasions I still have me a little gluten because I like a little cake and some pies and shit like that. But for the most part, I don't fool with it, because my body has begin to adjust to not having it, because I fasted as well. Like, I fasted food altogether. Like, literally, I do 72-hour water fast. I wouldn't say regularly, but I made that a part of who I am, as well as just fasting in general, whether it be from that night that I ate dinner maybe at 6, I may not eat again until 6 the next day, or I may just push it further until my body says, "Oh, I'm ready to eat." But I've understood that I don't need food to survive. Hell, I've lost 40 pounds just off of fasting alone and changing my diet. So for me, that sacrifice was worth it, because my body has tons of ailments that uh, a lot of the foods and things I was taking in help to irritate. Like gluten. If you don't understand gluten, gluten is food glue. And it sits in your body and retains water, which that water retains primarily around your joints, is a big place where that water starts to retain, which puts a lot of pressure on your joints. So for me, getting that out of my system after a couple of days of not having gluten, I started to feel a complete difference in who I was. Medications, I stopped all medications and went straight to the herbs. And again, that's been over a year since I've stopped taking any medications, over the counter, anything. I just do natural herbs, or I just meditate, go to sleep, whatever I can do to help me deal with whatever I'm dealing with. Because once you start understanding how the spiritual world affects the physical world, then you'll get a greater sense of the foods that you put into your body and how they will affect you, as well as the medications, because all the medications that we take were once derived from all the plants that are in nature that are free. But if you understand the system and how things work, it's a lot more to it than just the medication itself. So I had to sacrifice that. And like I said, I have a lot of injuries. I dealt with a lot of depression, anxiety, migraines, and these are things that require medication, high blood pressure, and all these things are things that I've finally gotten under control through natural means and different ways of healing myself without needing to uh, fill myself full of pills. And I still go to the doctor to get regular checkups just to make sure that what I'm doing is right. But I didn't consult the doctor about anything I'm doing. I didn't consult anyone but what was inside of me telling me what was best for me. Because the doctors, their job is to push pills, period. I don't give a fuck what you say. I done went to the doctor and hardly complained about anything, and they were ready to give me another prescription. And like, you need a refill? Like, I didn't ask for anything, so why you want to give me a refill? I don't need that medicine like that anymore. That's not what I'm doing. So, it was a choice that I made for myself, and I suggest that if you have medications that you can live without, that you don't need, I would suggest that you find alternatives just to help your body. Because we all know, once we take one medication, we're gonna start taking another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then they got side effects, and you need pills for that, and you don't really know what condition you're truly suffering with and what is coming from the medication. So I wanted to find out what I truly was suffering with and dealing with, and figure out how to handle that in a natural way. And another way besides the herbs that I went along with my medicine is energy healing, which is something that a lot of people don't know about and understand. And well, along with sound healing as well, I've also done a lot of that. And on top of that, I've become a level 2 Reiki practitioner to understand the energies of the universe and how they work to heal our bodies, which is super important as far as you healing. Because again, they're going to send you to the doctor and pump you full of pills, and that's just going to slow you down even more. And like I said, I feel so much more alive and so much more rejuvenated just off the simple fact that I stopped taking these pills. Which there were times when I would take these pills, I would be on slow motion. Like I would things would move in slow motion because I was moving so slow. Naturally, it wasn't my mind, it was me moving slow because other people would even mention the fact that of how slow I was moving. And that was because of the pills. And I really didn't like that. And I know a lot of y'all don't like having to take pills constantly. So my suggestion is to do your research on what you have and what you're dealing with. And if you can find an alternative way, I would suggest it. But yeah, this journey I've been on has opened my mind to so many different things, to so much more knowledge than I have. And a lot of things I may not even talk about because a lot of those things were personally directed to me. So if I was to tell you, you may not understand or see the same value that I've got from the guidance of my inner self. Because that's where I do everything I do now is from within. I don't ask anyone for their advice. I don't question anyone about my decisions. I make my decisions for me. And that sounds extremely selfish, and it is. But all those decisions were made in order to make me a healthier person and for me to become a whole being, become balanced within myself through the spiritual and the physical realm and balanced within my body. Because a lot of us don't have balance, and that's where a lot of our issues come from, is the unbalancing of who we are. So I spent the past year like digging into who I am, finding my balance, finding my peace, finding my happiness. And again, that came with sacrifices to every aspect of my life, including relationships. Those did not manage to miss the cut because I had to see what was best for my higher self. And my higher self, it gave me the knowledge to be able to make decisions that would guide me down the path that was truly aligned and meant for me. And like I said, now, this is no offense to anybody that's ever been in my life, but I'm the happiest I've ever been when I started truly loving myself and appreciating who I was and learning who I was. Like I've read numerous books, I've numerous articles, uh, watched tons of videos, did tons of research, but none of that, all of that was in effect to help me understand who I was, but none of it told me who I was because all that knowledge about me specifically is within me, just like you. All the knowledge you have about yourself is within you, but you've been so distracted that's been difficult for you to be able to process who you are and understand who you are. Like you are a God being. They tell you in the Bible, God is within. That's here. And I want people to understand that about themselves so they can continue to grow and become the best version of themselves. Because that's a goal that I'm looking to reach for myself, is to become the best version of myself. And I want everyone that hears my voice, sees my face, reads my words, hears my music, eats my food, drinks kombucha, eats the gummies I make, anyone who to experience that, which is all that I do is in order to help them connect to their soul, because that's my purpose, is to awaken people's soul, give your soul life and let you understand that your soul is real. Like it's an eternal thing. I'm not sure if everyone out there believes that they have a soul, but you do. And I like to tell people this. I want you to think of it this way. When you hear a sound, you don't have to see what made that sound for you to understand what that sound is. It's invisible. Sound is invisible. You don't never see sound, but you hear. Just like you hear my voice. If I was to turn the camera off, you would still hear my voice, but you wouldn't see me. But you know that there's sound. It's invisible. Same with smell. You can smell something burning before you even see it burning. You know, somebody burning something. You can smell that shit. It's the same thing with your soul. Just because you can't see it or truly experience it in your distracted mind, it's still there and it still needs to be nurtured. And a lot of people neglect their souls, which is why their bodies are being neglected. Because you can do everything you want. Some of the healthiest people have died. And that's still because their souls weren't aligned with them. There was something still eating away at them. And some people, their time was just, it was just their time. They served their purpose and they were ready to go. But did they become themselves, become that higher version of themselves? Did they uh, alleviate all their past karma that they accumulated before they passed? And that's what I want people to do is to take all that accumulated karma and heal from that. Because a lot of the trauma that we experience and the karma that we carry with us is from shit that we don't even have any true saying what happened. It's just some shit that happened to us, and now we have to carry that baggage for the rest of our lives, not knowing we can put that baggage down whenever we want and still carry the memory of it, but not the pain of it, which a lot of people like to carry their pains with them. Like people will carry their negative energy much stronger than they would carry their positive energy. And I don't care, even if you had 2 or 3 negative things happen, that still sits in your mind much deeper than the positive things that you have. So that's my goal, is to get people out of that negative thinking and start connecting to their soul, because our souls are here to have a joyous experience, not to be here and be in fear and worry and all these other negative emotions. Yes, we're going to experience negative emotions. That's a part of life. That's why we're here, to experience emotion. But you shouldn't have to hold on to that. That's why they call them emotions, energy and motion. You need to move it in, experience it, and move it out. And we've experienced so much negative emotions. We know what it feels like. We know what pain feels like. We know what hurt feels like. We know what anger feels like, jealousy. We know what all these emotions feel like. We don't need to carry them to keep understanding what they are. You can release them and still know what they feel like. And when you need to tap back into that to understand it, you can tap back into it versus carrying it with you and letting that be your representative of you. Because again, it's going to affect your body. Like, like I can get deep into how this shit really affects your body, but I'm not going to go too deep into it. I just want to talk about, you know, stepping up and wanting to fight for yourself, because ain't nobody out here gonna do it. You got to do it. You got to get up and fight for yourself all day, every day, and understand this. I, I'm healed. I'm healed, but that don't mean shit don't happen. That don't mean something negative doesn't happen. It's all about how I take that negativity in now. I don't see anything negatively anymore. I see everything as a positive lesson that I can learn and information I can take to better myself, regardless of the situation, because every situation that you're in is an opportunity for you to learn something. Whether it's this small or this big, you can learn from it. And that's what I want people to understand, that there's something you need to learn, especially if it's something that keeps happening over and over and you keep saying, why does this keep happening to me? That's because your ass ain't learned the lesson that you need to learn from it. Once you learn a lesson, will something like that happen again? Yes. But that's to see if you've learned the lesson. It's going to happen again. The universe understands that, oh, you've learned your lesson. You might not even have to deal with shit like that no more, because the universe understands that. And now you're vibrating higher then that situation can reach you. And that's what you have to understand too, is once you get your self-love up so high, there's no situation that's going to be able to reach you and bring you back down, because now you're in a place of peace. And once you found your inner peace, you ain't going to do shit to let that go. Trust me. That's a part of sacrificing, is being able to find that inner peace, and not everyone will understand. They won't. A lot of people gonna think you crazy because of shit that you're gonna start saying, the shit that you're gonna start doing. But it is what it is, because you're doing this for you, not them. You are your own universe. No one else. Everyone has their own universe that they live in. So when you let other people's influence enter your universe, they're controlling your universe more than you. And that's what I want to do here is help you to understand that you are in full control of every situation. Every situation, you're in full control, whether you feel like it or not. But it's how you respond and react to those situations is going to determine your results. And if you take everything as negativity, what you think gonna come? Negativity, period. If you think everything is positive, what you think gonna come? Positivity, period. But you have to see it. And sometimes those positive things are gonna be minuscule. Fucking that big, bro. That big. But you have to take from it and enjoy that little bit of peace that you found. Because eventually it's gonna start getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Until it's so much peace that you're exuding it and it's just pouring out of you and other people see it, feel it, and want a piece of it. You feel me? So yeah, man, like I said, it's been a year of me doing that, going inside, sitting in my own darkness, sitting in my own pain, not looking for anyone else to step in and say, oh, I'm sorry for what I did to you. You did it. You did it for a reason. Everyone has a reason, whether you know it or not. And whether you want to accept it or not. I stopped giving a shit about accepting other people's reasons for why they do things. I just accepted it and I stopped judging them for it. Like you did something, you did it because you felt it was what was best for you at the time. So when somebody does that, what can you do? You want to get mad because somebody made a decision that they felt was best for them because it didn't benefit you? Come on, man, get the fuck out of here with that. So, like I said, just know you are the key. Nobody else has your keys but you, unless you give it to them. And you still got the key. You just giving them the valet key. You ain't even giving them full access unless you slip up and give them your real key. Now you at their mercy. Like I said before, you don't want to be at the mercy of someone else because now your emotions are attached to how they treat you and what they do. Once you understand that your emotions can be high fucking all the time. There's not a time when your emotions can't be up here, when your happiness can't be up here. But if you let people control that, then you're giving them control. And I stopped giving up my control. Like that was the way I I saw best was for me to stop giving my control and move as I see fit for me. And like I said, it's selfish, extremely selfish. But I do this in turn to help others because now I'm able to assist someone who might have a question about healing that they don't understand or might have things that they can't get over. Like everybody experiences is different and similar. It may not be exactly the same, but I may be able to understand and give you some insight through what I did to help you. And that's essentially my job is to awaken your soul to who it truly is and what you're truly capable of. But first, you have to start with your physical being. You have to understand that you're only a physical body and you still have a soul that needs attention and love. And they need to connect eventually for you to find true balance within. I don't give a fuck how much money you got. I don't give a fuck how much you don't have. You can find happiness and balance within yourself with fucking zero. With zero, you can find happiness and balance. So that's all I want to say is don't give up on yourself and don't give your power away. It's yours, it belongs to you, and you see fit to use it as you choose to. Don't let anyone influence how you use that power of yourself because people are using it and not give a shit because they still have their power. So if they can siphon off of yours and use yours to get what they want, don't you think somebody gonna do that? Even though you may not be that type of person. So you need to become that type of person, but move completely different. When people give your energy, you give it back to them with care and kindness and love. Pure. Uncut. You become the plug of love. It sounds simple, but that shit ain't for real. You gotta go digging. You gotta go into your insides. You gotta go sit with yourself in the dark. You gotta accept what you've done to yourself, accept what you've done to other people, Accept what people have done to you knowingly and unknowingly, because if you don't, you're gonna hold a grudge against people who probably don't even know that they did something to you or even really give a shit that they did something to you. So just know your power is yours unless you give it away. That's all I got for you, man. It's been a year of healing, a year of happiness, a year of growing out my goddamn quaff, looking good, feeling good, smelling good. And I'm not going back to who I used to be. He's dead and gone. That old Brian that y'all once knew, if you didn't know me, he gone. And he ain't coming back. I am now completely my higher self. And that's all I got the message for you. Become your higher self. Become the best version of yourself. Become that version of yourself that you want to be and that nobody else can be able to take away from you. But that's it. That's all I got for y'all. I get